Well, as I said, that was a big announcement. I think that was the good part of Winston Peters Week. We are joined now to discuss the impact of the announcement on the new, slightly more modest ferries with slightly more modest infrastructure at each end. We're joined by Nadine Taylor. She is the Marlborough District Mayor. Nadine, welcome to the platform. Nice to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, look, first up, this announcement, it must be good to at least have an idea where this thing is going now.
Yeah, it's really good to have an idea where it's going. From our point of view as a council and Port Marlborough, and certainly the people in Picton, this has been a pretty long saga. I can count 8 years since I've been involved in it, and there'll be people who were there earlier. So great to have it nailed down and to have that, positive pathway forward guaranteed.
A slightly more modest proposal. Mr. Peters talked to us yesterday about repurposing what was always meant to be the temporary ferry terminal building in Picton. Still, though, quite a lot of work to be done at Picton to get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. They're focusing on reusing what they can and what works and upgrading where they have to. But Picton needs a brand new wharf to accommodate these new ferries. It needed the wharf anyway. Our previous wharf was towards end of life. The port company had been keeping it going with the idea that the new IREX ferries were coming and then these new ones. So a big chunk of the spend is going into that. And then, of course, a lot of rail yard upgrades for Kiwi Rail. And then there's a lot of new technical equipment, link spans and so forth for the new ferries that are coming in.
And that construction, you'll need to bring in people to do that. That will stimulate economic activity.
It'll be a big project for the town. It'll take, obviously through until 2028, 29. It'll be a lot of people coming in. Under the previous IREX, there was huge demand for housing. We saw people renting houses in advance, the contractors, and I expect we'll see the same again for Picton. Yep, it's a big project, and there'll be a lot of disruption for the town, but they're a port town and they understand that.
Yeah. Look, someone already got a couple of texts about Clifford Bay. Is that now a dead issue? Because it's a hoary old chestnut that comes up time and time again.
It's got to be a dead issue now. I mean, the government has been quite clear. The minister's always been quite clear that he's focused on Picton. The planning is so far advanced they're due to start early works. I mean, it's nailed down conceptually in Picton and the contracts are soon to be signed. There is nothing in Clifford Bay. It is an empty bay. There is no electricity. There's no potable water, no roads. There's no wharves. There's no fuel supplies. To stand something up like that from scratch, I think is unfeasible. And I think, right now, it would be irresponsible because it couldn't deliver in time for 2029.
Yeah. Nadine, the other thing I would say is, which you don't want to happen again. You don't want to change the government next year and they say, oh, no, we're going to go back to IREX or we don't like that idea. Is there a political consensus at a Wellington level rather than your local level that this is now the deal? Or is it going to get messed with again by politicians?
Look, I'm not part of the Wellington scene. I'm part of the local scene.
Yeah.
But my sense in talking to everybody that comes through my office is that this is settled, that this is locked and loaded.
Okay, what would your message to be to a national, a politician from Labour or National or any other big party that wants to mess with this? What would you say to them before they considered doing that?
Oh, I think that would be one of the most dangerous things anybody in politics could do, would be to swing this in any direction other than the direction that it's going. I don't think the people of New Zealand would put up with any further flip-flopping. All
right, I get you. But look, I made Picton, we have a little hotspot weather location where we pick a spot in New Zealand, often one associated with the news. And we talk about it. It's amazing the number of people who've travelled extensively over this country have been to places. A lot of people have been through Picton. Does Picton have a bit of a challenge in that it is a place you just pass through? Not many people stop to smell the roses there, if there are any to smell.
Look, I think that that's a little bit of a misconception. Of course, many people pass through because it is a port town. People hit Picton, they're on their way south, and we understand that. But so many people make a point of coming to Picton. It seems like every second person I talk to say to me, look, I'm coming to the Sounds for the summer, or I've got a house in Picton for the summer. We are over capacity in the summer, and that's great because New Zealand comes to us to holiday. I think the fact that people pass through is just because of the sheer volume, 1 million passengers a year.
And you
that
are,
go
I
on
guess,
the ferry.
Picton is, I guess, the capital of the Marlborough Sounds, isn't it?
It really is. We call it the heart of the Sounds, and it's just pumping in summer. So busy supporting all of those Sounds visitors and those who want to be Sounds adjacent, so that they can do the wine trails and everything else in Blenheim for one day and the Sounds on the other. Picton's pretty happy with where it sits. It understands it both hosts the transits, people who are travelling through, and it's a destination in its own right. It's doing dual duty.
Mm. All right, when is the first sod turned on the new ferry terminal and everything else? You're going to have politicians turning out there for photo ops every week or so, I imagine.
We'll be cutting ribbons and kissing babies, do you think, for
all over the place
for the next few years? It sounds like a nightmare to me, but I'm pretty keen to see the work start. And of course, in many ways, that quiet enabling work has already started. Some of it started through IREX in terms of getting ready for things like the overbridge. And that's probably a good thing. We've had a long lead in, and quite a bit of the early disruptive work has been done.
Bloody good stuff. It's nice to talk to someone from local body politics who's celebrating some good news, Nadine, and I thank you very much for your time this morning.
I appreciate it any time you give me a buzz.
All right, Nadine Taylor, the Marlborough District Mayor there. Celebration sounds like they're good to go, and it sounds like maybe, and isn't this interesting, goes back to Catherine Beard, some consensus. I think it would be dumb of anyone to now mess with it. To now mess with that project. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's move the country forward.